It's Sue Caltabiano once again coming to you to share the Nioxin story. And the first thing I want to discuss today is who is the Nioxin client. To me, everyone is a Nioxin client. But let's break that down a little bit and talk about the clients that come into your salon. You know, the first person that comes to my mind that I think we overlook is the teenager. The teenager who's perhaps going through some skin issues. Along with those skin issues, there may be scalp issues that we haven't really discussed or identified. So think about that teenager that sits in the chair and you know they're sort of struggling with their own identity and you're trying to figure out that perfect haircut to make them feel more confident. If they have any challenges with their skin, they may have challenges with their scalp. And Nioxin is a perfect solution for them. It's a great opportunity for you to start to build that relationship with that younger clientele. The next segment I think about is our mothers and our housewives and our working career women and women in all age groups. Today, we hear a lot about women who are trying to start their families, and maybe because we're in the business of being up close and personal, people will share information with us about wanting to start a family. And maybe they're having a challenge with starting that family. So I think about hormone issues and I think about challenges with their hair as well as their skin. Nioxin is a perfect solution for that client as well. Maybe when that client is a bit older, going through the years, going through hormonal changes throughout our life can impact our hair, and we might notice more shedding. We might feel our ponytail is thinner, our part is a little bit wider than it used to be. Even that area in the hairline, that area of recession might be growing a bit, and that's something that's a big concern with women and really being concerned about how they look. So Nioxin is a perfect solution for that client. Moving into our male clientele, when they come in and they sit in the chair, over the years we may notice that their hair is getting a bit more sparse in the crown area, and that area of recession is also growing. So Nioxin is a perfect solution for that client as well. So pretty much, Nioxin will take care of all of your clientele and really handle their special needs with fine and thinning hair, with hair that's breaking, with hair that's maybe dull and lifeless, or they just are looking for their hair to grow and feel a little bit fuller. So really understand Nioxin is a perfect solution for each and every one of your clients. So let's talk about the Nioxin 3-part system kit. As I've mentioned, I feel it's the perfect product to take care of everyone's hair care needs, whether it's fine and thinning hair, hair that's not growing as fast as they'd like, hair that is maybe lacking in volume. Let's talk about that Nioxin 3-part system kit as a solution for them. And I really like to make it very simple. As you all know, there are 6 different system kits. But I always say there's only one system kit, and that's the one that's right for your client. So when we're talking to the customer, I don't want you to be concerned about is it system 1 or 3 or 5 that is the right system kit for them. As we work through the consultation, it will become very clear which system kit is right for them. So in the Nioxin 3-part system kit, there's 3 products, but it's one step with 3 parts. So if we look at it, if the customer is just using one part of the system kit, they're not going to get the full effect. And that's really important for you as a stylist to be confident in understanding that it's 3 parts, but it's one step. So first step, we have the cleanser. I know you're busy. I know you're moving at a fast pace, and you may only have 2 minutes with that customer, and recommending Nioxin might seem like it would take a greater time chunk out of your schedule. I want it to be very quick and simple. The 3-part system kit. Number 1, the cleanser. It's going to remove anything that is built up in that follicle site. And the follicle site is where that hair is growing from. So it's going to remove anything, excessive sebum, environmental debris, perhaps it's styling products that's been building up on the scalp. It will gently remove that. It's very gentle, so make sure you share with your customer to leave it on for 2 to 3 minutes so that it can gently remove anything built up in that follicle site. Step 2, scalp therapy. And you notice that the names are a bit different. It's not shampoo, it's cleanser. And that's because it's really addressing the needs of the scalp, which is a continuation of your skin. It's one of the things that makes Nioxin unique, is that it is a skincare approach for healthy hair. So scalp therapy, it's going to be applied to the scalp. Massage it into the scalp, comb it through the hair, and leave it on for 2 to 3 minutes. Now when I use scalp therapy, I really make sure I address my scalp by massaging it in. And then I just slide my fingers down my hair until I feel that cuticle smooth out. I always have a large tooth comb right there in the shower with me so I can evenly distribute it, and I think that's key with really getting the benefits on your hair of that gentle conditioning and that moisturizing. So make sure you share that with your customer as well. Last and not least, the scalp treatment is your final step. So after the customer towel blots the moisture from their hair, and gently towel blots, because the Nioxin customer, we're really helping them to understand to be gentle with their hair as well as taking care of all of the needs of their hair. So gently towel blot and then apply the treatment. The treatment, I say it's like your vitamins that you take every day. It's like the last thing you do before you leave for work, and it keeps you going throughout the course of the day. So the treatment is going to help to prevent anything from building up in that follicle site throughout their busy day. It also is going to deliver to that root of the hair and help to really grow that healthy, strong hair. It's going to prevent breakage, so it's really important not to skip this step. It comes in 2 different forms. One is a spray, and that's for the customer who has a good amount of hair. We massage it into the scalp, and we can see that 1 small drop covers the entire back of my hand. So as I show that to my client, they can see just how little of the treatment they need. Too many people overuse the treatment. A little is good, a lot is better. That philosophy is really not one that's going to work for the treatment in the Nioxin 3-part system kit. Slide the nozzle into the hair, tilt the head back, pump, pump, and massage it in. I think it's important to demonstrate that with your customer so that they feel comfortable when they go home and they're using their 3-part system kit. Now I have the treatment from the system kit that is for someone with noticeably thinning hair, and that means more scalp is showing than hair. It comes in a foam for a reason, so that the customer who has more scalp, the liquid would run down their skin, where the foam stays in place so the customer can then massage it into their skin. That's the 3-part system kit. Should we use this daily? Absolutely, it is recommended daily. I refer to Nioxin as fitness for your hair. Everyone is focused on fitness today, but some people are starting their fitness regime day 1. Some people are in maintenance, and some people are just getting more involved. So Nioxin is fitness for your hair. Your customer may have some extreme needs. They may see more scalp showing. Nioxin 3-part system is the right thing for them to do. Some people may feel they want their hair to grow. They have a good amount of hair, but it never seems to grow. Nioxin is a perfect solution for them. And some people may be experiencing more shedding than normal. They may be concerned that their hair is breaking more excessively than normal. So Nioxin is also going to address their needs. So let's talk about that. If we look at the Nioxin 3-part system kit, so many people don't realize that we have a 30-day money-back guarantee and it's right on the Nioxin 3-part system kit box. When you look at that, if you turn it over, it'll tell you exactly how the customer gets their money back from the company. It has nothing to do with the salon. It is right directly from the company. And that guarantee really shows our confidence in knowing that Nioxin will work for your customer. The next thing is, how do we make the recommendation for which system kit is right for your customer? So we're going to address the different needs of each customer and how to consult with them and how to make that recommendation. So our next segment is going to be all about the consultation and making that perfect recommendation for your client. Segment, I'd like to talk about making that consultation a really comfortable and something that's not time-consuming and really to the point with the customer, but making it feel very personal and very individual. So in our last segment, we talked about the 3-part system kit. Now we can share the information quickly with our customer. 1 part, the cleanser, leaving it on for 2 to 3 minutes to gently remove anything that's built up in that follicle site. 2nd, the scalp therapy, which is going to moisturize the scalp, balance the moisture of the scalp, as well as gently conditioning the hair. 3, the treatment, which is going to deliver to the root of the hair what that hair needs to be healthy and strong and prevent breakage and also protect it through the course of the day. But now we're going to make the recommendation through our consultation on which system kit is right for your customer. So when we think about Nioxin, it's really identifying the needs and some of the signals that will really indicate that your customer is perfect for Nioxin is 1, an unhealthy scalp environment. Now when we think about that, we might see some dry flaking this time of the year, and we're going to talk today about your scalp recovery 3-part system kit, which is perfect for that client with dandruff, with eczema, psoriasis, and how it will relieve the symptoms of that. We're going to discuss that in our specialty segment. 2nd, they may have fewer hair strands than they had in the past, so maybe you're seeing a little bit more of that thinning happening with your customer. And the next thing is the client might have finer hair than they had in the past. They may complain to you that their hair just doesn't have the volume it used to have. It doesn't feel as thick as it once was. Or maybe they're really noticing breakage. Interesting fact, breakage is the #1 cause of fine and thinning hair. So what are some of the causes of fine and thinning hair? Let's just discuss a couple of them. Genetics may be one. And I know we say we can't change our genetics, but can we alter the rate that we may experience things in life? Certainly. Just because we're prone to fine and thinning hair doesn't mean we will absolutely have fine and thinning hair in our lifetime. Nioxin is a great preventative product as well as a great maintenance product. So when we think about looking at our family and maybe identifying that there are a lot of our family members with fine and thinning hair, using Nioxin only makes sense to just help to keep that hair healthier and stronger, and perhaps slow that process down or prevent that process from happening. So when I think about stress and diet and medication, I think about them really in the way we live our life today. We're moving at a very fast pace. People are multitasking, more than ever before, creating a lot of stress. Perhaps our diet is impacted. We're leading a very busy lifestyle, driving through the drive-through to get dinner for the evening, and maybe even medications, just because our bodies are really not keeping up with the pace that we're really demanding today in our environment. So those are all causes or potential causes for fine and thinning hair. Our environment that we live in, as we think about the workplace, perhaps some people are working in environments where there's a lot of things in the air that may be impacting the health of their scalp. So these are all things that may be adding to the client's experience with fine and thinning hair. So we know that there's 6 system kits, and now we're going to identify how we recommend the system kit that's right for your customer. Number 1, does your client have normal to thin looking hair, which is the majority of your clients, or does your client have more scalp showing than hair? If that's the case, then we're going to look at our system selector tool, and we're going to turn the wheel so that you can identify what system kit is right for them. So the system selector tool is a great tool to use when making the recommendation during the consultation with your customer. As you can see on the top of the wheel, it says normal to thin looking. So if your client has normal to thin looking hair, then we're going to focus on the top half of this wheel. The bottom half of the selector wheel is gray, and it says noticeably thin. So if your customer has more scalp showing, then we're going to operate with that side of your wheel. So as you can see the hole, it is going to help us to indicate which system kit is right for your customer. Our customer is normal to thin looking. They have natural hair, meaning there is no chemical on their hair whatsoever, and their hair is fine. So when we look at that, it is system kit number 1 that is the perfect system kit for your customer. So our next scenario, which is very typical in the salon environment, our customer is normal to thin looking. They have fine hair, and it is chemically treated. And as we can see with our system selector tool, it is system number 3 that is perfect for that customer. So we've made the recommendation for our clients by using the system selector tool, and we also have on the box the simple form that you can follow to make the recommendation to your customer. Let's talk a little bit about the technology in the Nioxin 3-part system kit. In the 3-part system kits where the client has fine hair, you have BioAmp technology. And that BioAmp technology is going to help to build that hair from the inside out, creating that fuller look to the hair. So giving volume but strengthening the hair at the same time. SmoothPlex. So many times I thought of the client with that coarser, thicker hair, that natural curly hair. I thought of them as not really a client for Nioxin. But when you think about that hair and the texture of the hair, manageability really comes into play. So the SmoothPlex technology that is in your system 5 and 6 for that coarser hair is going to help give that moisture balance to that coarse curly hair. We all know that coarse and curly hair needs more moisture. So SmoothPlex technology will help give manageability, prevent breakage, and that customer who has a coarser hair oftentimes is pulling their hair back to give better control and causing that breakage. The next thing I want to think about or talk about is the scalp access delivery system for systems 2, 4, and 6. So 2, 4, and 6 are all system kits for noticeably thin hair. So if the client is in this category, then there's more scalp showing than hair. So therefore, the scalp access delivery system is going to protect the scalp from the sun. So we're looking at UV protection, and that makes perfect sense that someone with that scalp exposed really wants to protect it from the sun. So as you can see, we have a very simple way to identify what system kit is right for our customer. We know a little bit about the technology in our system kits, and even something that I didn't discuss is Glyco Color Shield in your system kits for your color treated client. It's going to protect the hair color from fadage, and remember, we are a color company first, so certainly protecting color is our #1 concern. We also know that the system kit that's right for the customer should be used on a daily basis, and to use all 3 parts of that system kit for the best results. And making that consultation very simple and easy and making it personal for the customer is really what it's all about. So as we look at Nioxin and we look at our customer, we know it's a perfect recommendation for each and every one of our customers. So please take that moment to just review your literature, go online. Nioxin.com is an amazing website. It has an interactive tool for you or your customer. Please encourage your customers to go to that website. Your customer or yourself, you can ask a question. There's a live chat. You can get an answer to maybe something that the customer thinks about when they get home after you've made the recommendation and they start using the 3-part system kit. They can go online, ask that question, and they will get an answer from either the live chat or via email. Familiarize yourself with that. It's a wonderful tool for you to use and recommend to your customer. So Nioxin is becoming simpler and simpler for you, the stylist, to recommend to your customer. The name is out there. Everywhere you go, people are really identifying with the Nioxin brand. And I think it's important when the customer comes in and sees Nioxin on your shelf that you're able to speak to it very simply and very easily, and also direct them to other resources such as our website. Don't forget the 30-day money-back guarantee. That's a big deal for the customer. It shows confidence in our product. Don't forget that it's for every customer, no matter what age group. And also, we don't have to worry about whether the customer is on a particular medication or is going through any kind of treatment. Nioxin does not have to be approved by the FDA because there's nothing in it that would have to be approved by the FDA. So Nioxin is safe for you to make a recommendation to any of your customers without having to refer them to their doctor for further advice. So Nioxin is a great product to just feel comfortable in. It's a solution for your customers' needs, no matter what they are. So what I'd like to go over right now in this segment is some of your specialty products, really reinforcing information that you already know, maybe taking it to the next level, and perhaps it's a reminder of some of the wonderful products that we have in the Nioxin brand. When we look at Nioxin, we say it's a holistic approach to healthy hair and scalp. Now, many people think when we say holistic, it means all natural. But holistic really means that it addresses all of the needs of the hair and the scalp. So part of this segment is really diving into those specialty products. One of the specialty products is our Scalp Renew, our facial for the scalp. It's a gentle dermabrasion, and we want to be careful not to say microdermabrasion, but it's a gentle dermabrasion for the scalp. This facial for the scalp is something that is really, I call, the first moment of truth. So when the customer comes in and I've made my Nioxin recommendation on which system kit is perfect for them, I like to start that service off with a scalp renew treatment. We apply it in a grid-like fashion. I know you've all seen that demonstration before, but I'll just remind you that it's like putting color from a bottle onto the scalp and then crisscrossing and a gentle massage for 1 minute. And it's something that we want to be very gentle in a circular motion. It's not aggressive, but leave it on for 10 minutes. And after that 10-minute development time, you're going to then use your 3-part system kit right at the shampoo bowl. What the customer will experience is this incredibly clean sensation to their scalp, and it's like a cool breeze blowing over their scalp. And so I've had customers say, it feels like my scalp has just been renewed. And interesting, because it is scalp renew. So this is that first moment of truth. The customer can really feel the difference. It helps to regenerate new skin cells and really improving the condition of the scalp. When they're using their 3-part system kit, it's only going to work that much faster and be that much more effective quickly. So Scalp Renew is an amazing product, and no other company has Scalp Renew, so that technology again is very unique to us. So then density restoration is recommended to use after the Scalp Renew treatment. So this is to help to really go below that scalp surface and strengthen the root of that hair. When I think about density restoration, I always go back to thinking about my plants. So, you know, sometimes you walk into the house and you take a look at that plant that's growing in the corner, and it's been calling out to you and it's been saying, help, I need water, and you've ignored it. We're in that busy, fast pace. And that plant looks a little weaker each and every time you come in. That might be, you know, an analogy that is like the hair that we're dealing with. Maybe the hair is fragile. Maybe we've ignored it for a period of time. We've been experiencing breakage. So when I do the Scalp Renew treatment, it's like the first step in taking care of that plant and really helping to restore maybe the soil. Now, once we do that, the plant still needs some attention. It still needs water. It still needs your scalp therapy, that moisturizing part of the 3-part system. It still needs a treatment, which is going to go below the scalp surface or down below the soil into the root of that plant. But density restoration, we call it an anti-breakage treatment. There's crystallized infusion. It's really fruit extracts, and it's absorbed into the scalp and to the hair, delivers below the scalp, increases the density of the hair, and reduces breakage by up to 54%. So if our customer is using the 3-part system and the customer has had a Scalp Renew treatment, they will understand the value of density restoration. I go back to referring to fitness for your hair again. So if we're into a fitness program and we're starting to see the results, when someone at that gym recommends that we go to a specialty class, it makes more sense because we're seeing results. So when we recommend density restoration, at that point the customer is really seeing the results from the 3-part system kit, and it really is an easier opportunity to talk about the value of density restoration. So next I'd like to discuss Hair Booster. I think this is a product that is overlooked, and it's an amazing product. So really get into Hair Booster. When your customer is seeing results, and I'm going to talk about that customer that maybe has more scalp showing, and they have these areas of concern, the hairline and the crown, and they're starting to see the results from the Nioxin 3-part system kit. They've done the Scalp Renew treatment and they're using density restoration. You may think, oh my goodness, I cannot make another recommendation of a product. But I go back to that fitness center. When you go into the fitness center, they show you every piece of equipment. They tell you about all of the programs that they have. If they have a juice bar, I mean, they share the information with you, and that's what you're doing with the Nioxin brand. You're making the recommendation. The customer, believe me when I tell you, is interested in all that you have to share with them about Nioxin. So Hair Booster is that specialty product that they apply to those areas of recession. And there's things like coenzymes, vitamin D complex or 10 complex, and it's especially designed for those areas of concern. There's keratin in it to boost the fragile hair and help to protect it against cuticle damage. You can apply it up to twice a day. Distribute it with your fingertips in those areas where you're really concerned about that fine and thinning hair. It could be a little bit red for a moment, just like it could be red from the treatment, but believe me, that's the technology in there, and that vasodilator is really going to increase the circulation to the scalp, but the redness would go away in a short period of time. If we remember back to when I was recommending you apply the treatment to the scalp and have the customer tilt their head back, the same with the Hair Booster. Perhaps they can pump it on their hand, apply it with their fingertip to prevent any running down their skin that might cause some redness. When they see the redness, remember, they're not allergic. It's just a reaction to the product working, and it will go away in a short period of time. So Hair Booster, I know when I recommend Hair Booster to my customers, they always come back and tell me that product is amazing, it really works. So next we have Diamax. Diamax is amazing. I know so many of you are already in love with this product, but for those of you who may not be familiar with it, I want to just talk about it briefly. I say Diamax is going to create that fuller, thicker hair immediately while you're waiting for a Nioxin 3-part system to do its job. So Diamax is going to increase the volume of the client's hair instantly. In fact, it can make the client feel like they have thousands of more strands of hair. It builds up the hair from the external as well as the internal part of the hair. And as you see on the front of the package, it says HTX, Hair Thickening Extra Fusion. So this is a brand new technology. Nioxin is all about advancements in technology. We continue to grow as a company and offer you new products to keep up with the needs of your customer. So Diamax is something that's sprayed on the scalp. I'm going to remove the nozzle here. It is a spray. I'm just going to pump it. You have to prime it, and you see that it comes out in a spray, and it really spreads in a great area. So when you're using it on the customer, section the hair, lift it up, and spray onto the scalp. Massage it into the scalp. It is a treatment, a wearable treatment for the scalp, and it adds volume. Don't think of it as Hair Booster. It's beyond that. It's going to have benefits for the scalp as well as the hair. So it has niacinamide, caffeine, and also it has panthenol. So the panthenol is going to strengthen the hair. The caffeine is, believe it or not, caffeine helps in moisture balance. And niacinamide is used in many of your cosmetics, has a lot of benefits for the scalp as well. So every customer that comes in can benefit from Diamax, adding volume to their hair. You can use it on wet or dry hair. It's recommended on damp hair. So after you towel dry, spray it onto the scalp, massage it in, and then blow it dry. But some people do like to use it when the hair is already dry and styled and they're perhaps refreshing their style. So if that's how they want to use it, that's fine as well. Diamax, a little bit goes a long way. Use it on your customer today. Try a half head test. Dry half of the head with Diamax. Feel the increase in the volume. Share it with your customer. And then that Diamax is something that they won't want to live without it. I want to talk about clarifying cleanser. Many of you don't realize that you have clarifying cleanser on your shelf in the retail area. I'd like you to take a look at it today. I challenge you to go out and find it. What's really great about clarifying cleanser is it gently neutralizes the hard water mineral deposits on the hair. So many times people ask me if we have a product that will help to remove the minerals from the hair. And it really is as simple as clarifying cleanser. It also helps remove the chlorine effects. So in that summertime when people are swimming more, it's going to help to remove the chlorine from the hair. Removes product buildup and so many things that are building up on the hair from the environment. So clarifying cleanser is a great product to recommend to your customers. In so many areas that we go into, I find minerals are a big challenge and has a lot of impact on our other color services and chemical services as well. So clarifying cleanser should not be overlooked, and something that I really invite you to go and find on your retail shelf as well. Finally, I'm going to talk about something that is absolutely amazing, and that is your scalp recovery 3-part system. So we're going to stop for a moment and let's identify the customer who would need scalp recovery. Scalp recovery is for people with dandruff. What's amazing is it's a 3-part system, very much like the 3-part Nioxin system kit, and it addresses the needs of the client with dandruff. On the box, it says guaranteed 100% flake-free. Awesome. Not only does it guarantee to take care of the dandruff, but it also is color protectant, so you don't have to worry about the customer who just had their color service done. The medicated cleanser is the first step. In the medicated cleanser, it's pyrithione zinc that is really doing the job. Anyone who's ever had challenges with scalp conditions such as psoriasis, eczema, or dandruff, probably they're familiar with pyrithione zinc. In the 3-part system kit, the scalp recovery, we have the highest allowable amount of pyrithione zinc before that customer actually has to go to a doctor and get a recommendation for a product for their scalp needs. So the medicated cleanser is the first step. The second step is your moisturizing conditioner. It's going to help give moisture control as well as soothe that scalp. And it has pyrithione zinc as well. And the last step is your treatment. And it's a small vial that is applied to the scalp, certain areas of concern where the client is maybe feeling a little bit more irritation or sensitivity. You leave it on, just apply it right to the scalp, leave it on, and you can apply it 1 to 4 times a day. So some people just carry that small vial right in their pocketbook and their bag and apply it as needed. So when we have the customer who has specific needs such as dandruff, eczema, or psoriasis, scalp recovery is the answer. Now with eczema and psoriasis, we can't cure that. That's an autoimmune issue, it's an internal issue. What we're going to see is we're going to relieve some of the symptoms, some of that flaky buildup on the scalp. It's going to help to relieve some of that. I would recommend doing the scalp renew treatment first, going back to that facial for the scalp, then doing the scalp recovery 3-part system kit. So when they use the Nioxin scalp recovery 3-part system kit, they'll use it until their symptoms either go away, if they have dandruff, it relieves the symptoms, 100% flake-free guaranteed, or if they have psoriasis or eczema, many times it's seasonal. If they have the maybe irritation or the flakiness, but when they use the scalp recovery, those symptoms seem to diminish, they can go back to using the Nioxin 3-part system kit. All the while they're using scalp recovery. They don't want to stop using the treatment from the 3-part Nioxin system kit. So let me just review that. Your customer is a Nioxin client. They've been using the 3-part system kit from Nioxin. The treatment is their last step. They've come to you and they've shared that they have some flakes or some concerns about dandruff, or maybe you're noticing some certain areas where there's a little bit more buildup on the scalp, and you make the recommendation for scalp recovery. They use the 3-part system kit in the scalp recovery, the medicated cleanser, the moisturizing conditioner and the treatment, but they continue to use the treatment from the Nioxin 3-part system kit. This is like your vitamins. You do it every day. You don't stop. So this is something that's important to continue even when using scalp recovery. Once they see the relief from the scalp recovery or their dandruff goes away, they can put it in their cabinet and go back to using the Nioxin 3-part system kit. If they, for some reason, have a flare-up again, they can go back and pull it out of their cabinet and use the scalp recovery 3-part system kit again. So hopefully this has really helped you to understand what some of these specialty items are about and to really appreciate the value of the Nioxin brand that you have on your shelf in your retail area. I encourage you to read a little bit more. You have information available to you in your salons. You have your resource on nioxin.com. You can go to our Wella site as well, and there's information on all of our brands. Please, keep it simple. Make the recommendation. Perhaps you've used Nioxin yourself. If you haven't, I challenge you to use Nioxin for 30 days, see the results, so that you can share with your customers and be that wonderful resource. People are going to seek out Nioxin. They will do it. And I want it to be from your recommendation. It helps to grow that relationship that we have with our customer. We've proven, we've done studies that the customer looks to you as the professional to make the recommendations. So they're just looking for that conversation to happen. Sometimes it's a little uncomfortable. You feel like you don't want to say something to the customer. Trust me when I tell you, they already know if their hair is breaking. They already know if they have a scalp condition. They already know if they're seeing more shedding. They may wonder why you're not making the recommendation, because you have the solution that can help them for their hair care needs. So now it makes sense that we're going to finish up with talking about our care and styling products from Nioxin. You've already made the recommendation to your client for the 3-part system kit, followed with Diamax, giving them the instant volume that they're looking for, increasing the diameter or the volume of each strand of hair by up to 4%. We're going to finish out with our care and styling line from Nioxin. It's very exciting. Not only do we have new packaging with the Nioxin Care and Styling, but we have new technologies as well. I know you'll be impressed with the way the volume is increased with each one of the products, but the light hold is really something that you'll notice. So we're going to talk a little bit about the technologies, and then I'm going to give you some bullet points of each one of the products. So as you discover the new technologies in the Nioxin Care and Styling, in the lighter hold, it's LightPlex technology. It's something that, with the Nioxin client, we're concerned about fine and thinning hair, so we certainly don't want any product that's going to weigh the hair down. So this technology is all about polymers and conditioning agents, offering that light hold style that's going to keep the volume throughout the course of the day. So we have ProThick technology in our firmer hold products. It is a complex of thickening polymers for a desirable thickened appearance that can be styled easily. The first product I'm going to discuss is our Therm Active Protector. Now this is a brand new product in our line. Some of the products have gone away and some products are brand new, but you might recognize some of the features and benefits. So the Therm Active Protector is a heat-activated spray that also protects against breakage. This is a product that you're going to, after you shampoo, towel dry the hair, apply the Therm Active Protector, and when you apply heat to it, it actually activates the product. So one of my new favorite products is Rejuvenating Elixir. This is amazing when you have someone who has longer hair, maybe natural curly hair, needs a little extra moisture, a little dryness in the hair. The Rejuvenating Elixir is a leave-in conditioning treatment that will just absolutely give body to the hair. It's very lightweight and it helps to strengthen and recondition the hair. So Rejuvenating Elixir is going to be wonderful for those clients who have longer hair, curly hair, and just maybe feel some dryness on the ends of their hair. Just apply a small amount, leave it in the hair, and continue styling. Bodifying foam. Bodifying foam has always been a #1 seller in the Nioxin Care and Styling line. You will notice that it is a little bit more lightweight than it even was before. It's very easy to use. For some people who don't like a lot of styling products on their hair, I feel a foam is a great introduction to styling products. Lightweight, comb it through. When you blow it dry, you don't feel any heavy effects from it, but it's going to add nice volume and give you a smooth finish. Definition cream. When we're styling our client and we want to maybe accentuate certain areas and piece it out, create a little bit more of a textured feeling, the definition cream is the product for you. This is going to be great for just giving those finishing touches to your overall look. When we move into more of that Pro Thick technology, for people who are looking for a little bit of an additional hold or extra volume, or maybe a firmer, even though it's lightweight, a firmer feel to their end results, we have our thickening gel and our thickening spray. Both of these are going to be used on damp hair. Some people will use the thickening spray on dry hair. They're recommended for damp hair, and that's going to give you that little bit of a firmer hold and a little bit more volume and body to the person who is looking for maybe a wet look. When they're finished styling their hair, they want to leave it in sort of a wet look. They could use either one of these products there. Perhaps if they're looking for a stronger hold, it has that Pro Thick technology. So the thickening gel and the thickening spray are perfect for the customers who are looking for that end results. We have 2 hairsprays. We have the extra hold hairspray and the natural hold hairspray, the regular hold. So both of these sprays have been given a new package as well as a new technology. Lightweight, so if you're looking for a firmer hold, don't forget to spray the client's hair with the hairspray, give it a moment to dry, and then spray it again. We're talking about maybe layering to give a little bit of a firmer feel. Sometimes the customer has a hard time transitioning into a product that feels lightweight, it feels soft. They think that it's not going to hold as well. I assure you these products are going to give you that hold throughout the course of the day, even though they feel very lightweight. We can use these products by layering them and just combining products to give a unique prescriptive sort of end results. So if someone wants to use a little bit of the definition cream and they want to add it to the thickening gel, absolutely, they can just combine those products in their hand and then apply it to their hair. So there's really endless opportunities here to create different feels and holds with the products, combining them. If you go again to our website, you'll see that there's a whole chart that talks about layering the products, combining the products, and what kind of end result you can expect. And when we get together again, I want to go a little bit into our design principles that we have for creating haircuts and colors, giving that thicker, fuller look, just by the way we approach the styling, the cutting, and the coloring with our client. So I know it's a lot of information, but it's all great products, really giving that holistic approach, taking care of all of the needs of your client. So if all the brands went away, I know Nioxin would offer me the needs, to fulfill the needs of each and every one of my clients. I hope that you've picked up a little bit of information that maybe was lacking. I hope that you've revisited some products and reminded yourself to make that recommendation to the customer. And I want you to please go to the nioxin.com website so that you understand what's available for your customer, and encourage each and every one of them to go there and get a little bit more information about the Nioxin brand. So have a wonderful day, and I hope you enjoy each and every one of these products and use them yourself so that you can make the recommendation.